My father was sick for 3 years. Doctors found nothing. Every test, every scan, nothing. But my father was dying. Slowly. Weight loss, fatigue, headaches, heart arrhythmia. Mystery illness, they said. My mother seemed worried. At least that's how it looked. Thomas's allergies are getting worse, she'd say. I bought a HEPA filter, cleans the air. She put that machine in my father's bedroom, ran it day and night. My father died, 62 years old. Heart failure, they said. Funeral ended. I was cleaning the house. Found that machine in Dad's room, the HEPA filter, Mom's allergy machine. I opened it, checked inside, saw something strange. This wasn't a filter, something different. Bitter almond smell, familiar but couldn't place it. My friend works in a lab. Can you check this, I asked. Something weird inside. Week later he called, voice shaking. Ethan, come to the lab. Now, you need to take this to police. Why, I said. Because what I found inside this thing, he said, might have killed your father. My name is Ethan Cole. I'm 35 years old. And that day, everything changed. Let me start from the beginning. I'm Ethan Cole, corporate accountant, live in Seattle, only child. Parents Thomas and Helen. Dad was mechanical engineer. Mom was nurse, retired early. Normal suburban family, nothing unusual. Until 3 years ago when Dad started getting sick. It began subtly. Dad would seem tired after dinner, more than usual. Long day at the firm, he'd say. Mom would fuss over him. You're pushing yourself too hard, Thomas. You need rest. Seemed caring, seemed normal. Wife worried about husband. Standard marriage dynamic. But symptoms got worse. Dad started losing weight. Not dramatic, just gradual. 5 pounds, 10, 15. He'd joke about it. Finally losing that engineer belly. But Mom seemed concerned. Increasingly, we should see doctor, she'd insist. Doctor visits started. General practitioner first. Dr. Hammond ran basic tests. Blood panel. Metabolic screening. Everything came back normal. Probably stressed, Dr. Hammond said. Engineering deadlines. Consider adjusting diet. More exercise. Better. Dad tried all of it. Nothing helped. Symptoms continued. Added new ones. Headaches became frequent. Persistent. Throbbing. Dad would take ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol. Nothing worked. Nausea started. Dad couldn't keep food down, fist especially. Lost more weight. Down 30 pounds now. Dr. Hammond ordered specialist referrals, gastroenterologist for nausea, neurologist for headaches, cardiologist for emerging heart issues. Everyone ran their tests. Everyone found nothing. Mystery illness became the phrase, used repeatedly. At appointments, in reports, in family discussions. Frustrating, terrifying. Watching Dad deteriorate. Nobody knowing why. Nobody able to help. Mom was devoted caregiver through all of it. Always present, making special meals, bland foods for nausea, high calorie for weight loss, driving to every appointment, taking notes, asking questions, researching symptoms online. Seemed like perfect wife, supportive, caring, deeply worried. She'd call me weekly with updates, sometimes twice weekly. Dad had rough day today. New symptom appeared. Doctor ordered another test. Still, no answers, Ethan. I'd visit when possible. Lived 2 hours away. Work as corporate accountant kept me busy. Tax season especially. But I called regularly. Visited monthly minimum, sometimes more. Dad looked worse each time. Thinner, paler, weaker, skin almost gray. But still Dad. Still making engineer jokes. Still trying to stay positive. I'll beat this, he'd say. Every visit. Just need smart doctors to figure out what this is. Year 2 brought worse symptoms. Heart problems emerged. Arrhythmia. Irregular heartbeat. Dad would feel heart racing. Then slowing. Then skipping. Scary. Dangerous potentially. Cardiologist Dr. Chen ran extensive tests. EKG, echocardiogram, stress test, Holter monitor. Heart structure was fine, valves good, chambers normal size, but rhythm was off. Electrical system malfunctioning. Dr. Chen prescribed beta blockers. Helped somewhat. Not enough. Dad started having episodes. Chest pain, shortness of breath, heart racing dangerously fast. Mom would call ambulance multiple times. ER visits became regular occurrence. Twice monthly, sometimes weekly. They'd stabilize him, adjust medications, send him home. No clear diagnosis, no clear treatment, just managing symptoms, trying to keep him alive. Dad went on disability. Couldn't work anymore. Too unreliable, too sick. Engineering firm was understanding, kept him on insurance, paid partial salary. But Dad felt useless, felt defeated. I should be working, he'd say. I should be providing. Mom would comfort him. You're sick, Thomas. Not your fault. Focus on getting better. That's when HEPA filter appeared. Mom brought it home. Large white machine, professional looking, medical grade appearance. It's for allergies, she explained. To me, to Dad, to doctors. Dr. Hammond suggested environmental factors might be contributing. Dust, pollen, mold spores. This filters everything. Medical grade HEPA. Might help Thomas breathe better. Might reduce symptoms. Seemed reasonable. We tried everything else. Dozens of specialists, hundreds of tests, thousands of dollars. Why not try air quality? Made sense. Mom set it up in Dad's bedroom, next to his bed, right side, close to where he slept. Plugged in, turned on, ran constantly, hummed quietly. White noise. Dad said he liked it. Helps me sleep, actually. He told Mom. Drowns out the tinnitus. Mom was diligent about maintenance. Changed filter monthly, kept machine spotless, wiped it down, checked settings. Another sign of her devotion. Another thing she did. To help, to care, to try saving him. Or so everyone thought. Year 3 brought crisis point. Dad was obviously failing, obviously dying. Down 55 pounds from start, barely eating, few bites, then nausea, then giving up, barely moving, from bed to bathroom, then back, weak, exhausted, pale as death. Heart episodes more frequent, multiple times weekly. ER trips becoming routine. Paramedics knew him, new address, new situation. Doctors were puzzled, frustrated, some angry even. We've tested everything, Dr. Hammond said. Every system, every organ, every possible disease. Nothing explains this. Nothing fits. They suggested specialist clinics. Mayo in Minnesota, Cleveland Clinic, Johns Hopkins, places that handle rare diseases, diagnostic mysteries. Mom researched them all, made calls, got appointments scheduled. But Dad was too weak, too sick. Couldn't travel, couldn't sit upright for hours. For plane rides, for consultations, they'd have to wait. Try to stabilize him, build strength, then go. But that never happened. Dad never got stronger, just weaker. Dad died on Tuesday, March 15th, morning, heart failure, at home, in bed, next to running HEPA filter. Mom found him. Around 7 a.m., went to bring breakfast. Found him unresponsive, cold, called 911, hysterical, crying, screaming. Paramedics arrived. 8 minutes. Too late. Dad was gone. Had been for hours. They pronounced him dead. 7:42 a.m. I got call at work. 8:15. Mom crying, barely coherent. Ethan, he's gone. Your father, he's gone. Please come. I left immediately, drove 2 hours. Got there 10:30. Mom was surrounded by neighbors. Dad's body still there, waiting for coroner. I saw him. One last time. Looked peaceful. Finally. Pain gone. Suffering ended, but also gone. Forever. Dad. My father. Age 62. Dead from mystery illness. That killed him. Over 3 years. While we watched. Helpless. Funeral was that Saturday. Small service. Dad's engineering colleagues came. Some neighbors. Few distant relatives. Dad had been sick so long. 3 years. People drift. That's reality. Uncomfortable with prolonged illness, with death approaching, with helplessness. They stop visiting, stop calling, stop being present. Natural human response, but lonely, isolating. Service was nice though, simple. Dad would have liked it. No fuss, no drama, just facts. Good man, good engineer, good father. Taken too soon. By illness nobody understood. Mom spoke, tearfully, about their 35 years together. How she'd loved him. Tried everything. Failed to save him, how she'd miss him, forever. She seemed genuinely devastated, genuinely broken. I believed her. Everyone believed her. Why wouldn't we? After funeral, I stayed to help Mom, sort Dad's belongings, handle estate, Dad had life insurance, substantial policy, 4.7 million, purchased 15 years ago, when engineering career was thriving, when salary was high, when future looked bright. Policy paid out, no issues. Mom was beneficiary. She'd be financially secure, very comfortable, never worry about money. At least there's that, she said, quietly. Thomas made sure I'd be taken care of, even after he's gone. Seemed grateful, appreciative, nothing suspicious, nothing concerning, just widow. Grateful for husband's planning, his foresight, his love, even in death. I spent week at house, going through Dad's things, his home office, his workshop, his bedroom. That's where I found HEPA filter. Still running, still humming. Mom hadn't turned it off. Can't bring myself to, she said. When I asked, reminds me of Thomas, of caring for him, of trying to help. I understood. Grief is strange, attaches to objects, to routines, to remorse. But machine needed to go. House needed to be cleaned. Fresh start for Mom. New chapter. Without constant reminders. I unplugged it, carried it to garage for disposal, but it felt wrong. Heavy. Too heavy for air filter. Weight distribution odd. Sound when shaken, not like normal filter. Curious. Suspicious maybe? I examined it. White plastic casing, vents on sides, power cord, digital controls. Looked standard, medical grade HEPA, but something felt off. I opened it. Screwdriver from Dad's workbench, pried open casing. Inside wasn't normal filter. Standard HEPA filters are pleated paper, dense accordion fold, white or beige. This was different. Metal mesh, fine gauge, with substance throughout, white crystalline substance, embedded in mesh. Coating wires, not dust, not pollen, not normal accumulation, something placed there, deliberately, and smell. When I got close, bitter almond, distinct, unmistakable, familiar from somewhere. Chemistry class maybe, safety training, somewhere. Bitter almond means something, something bad, something dangerous. I couldn't place it, but wrong, definitely wrong. This wasn't air purification. This was something else, something modified, something dangerous. I didn't tell Mom, not yet. Needed to understand what I'd found, what this meant. Didn't want to worry her unnecessarily or accuse unfairly. Maybe there was explanation, legitimate reason, special medical filter, medication delivery system, something doctors prescribed. I'd check first, verify before alarm. My friend Marcus works at private medical lab, toxicology specialist. We'd been friends since college. I texted him, need favor. Can you analyze something? Might be nothing, might be important. Can't explain yet. He agreed. Bring it tomorrow morning. I removed mesh carefully, sealed in plastic bag, Ziploc, airtight. Took to Marcus next day. Need to know what these white crystals are, I explained. Found them in Dad's air filter. He just died. 3-year mystery illness. Want to verify not environmental toxin, not something that killed him. Marcus looked serious. I'll run full analysis. Take few days. Call you with results. 5 days later, Marcus called. 9 a.m. Wednesday. His voice was different. Shaky, scared. Ethan, where are you right now? He asked. Home. Work from home Wednesdays. Why? I said. Don't go to your mother's house, not yet. Come to lab, immediately. Bring police if you can. What I found, you need to see this. You need to report this immediately. My stomach dropped. What did you find? I asked, voice barely steady. Can't discuss on phone. Come now. I'm serious, Ethan. This is bad. Really bad. I drove to lab. 20 minutes. Marcus met me at door, led me to his office. Closed door, locked it. Pulled up test results on screen. Multiple pages, charts, graphs, chemical formulas. The crystals you brought me, he started. I ran every test, mass spectrometry, gas chromatography, infrared spectroscopy, everything. He paused. They're cyanide, potassium cyanide specifically. Nearly pure, high concentration, significant amount throughout that mesh. This wasn't accidental contamination. This wasn't environmental exposure. Someone put this there, deliberately. And if that machine was running, if it was heating that mesh, releasing particles into air, anyone breathing that air would get sick, would die. Slowly, over time, exactly like your father died. I couldn't breathe, couldn't process. Cyanide. In filter, Mom's filter, the one she bought, maintained, kept running in Dad's bedroom. For a year, maybe more. Poisoning him, killing him. Slowly, deliberately, methodically. My mother killed my father with cyanide, disguised as allergy treatment. 3 years of devoted caregiving. All fake, all performance, all murder. For $4.7 million. For insurance payout. For freedom. For reasons I couldn't fathom. Didn't want to understand. Marcus was still talking. Need to report this immediately. Police. FBI possibly. This is premeditated murder. Evidence is clear. Undeniable. Need to act before evidence disappears. Before she knows you know. Before she runs. I nodded. Shock, horror, disbelief, but knowing. Deep down knowing. Mom had done this. Had murdered Dad. Had spent 3 years killing him. While pretending to care. While collecting sympathy. While planning to collect millions. I called police from Marcus's office. Detective arrived. 30 minutes. Detective Sarah Morrison. Homicide. I explained Dad's 3-year illness. Mystery diagnosis. HEPA filter. Marcus's analysis. Cyanide discovery. She listened carefully. Took detailed notes. Asked sharp questions. Called colleagues. They contacted district attorney. Got emergency warrant. For Mom's house. For filter. For evidence. For anything related. They moved fast. That afternoon. Showed up at Mom's door. 4 p.m. search warrant. Mom was confused. Shocked. What's happening, she asked. What's this about Ethan? I stood there. Silent. Couldn't speak. Couldn't look at her. Detective Morrison explained nothing. Just executed warrant. Searched house. Found HEPA filter in garage. Where I'd left it. Seized it. Found documentation. Purchase records. Mom's computer. Credit card statements. Special order. Modified device. Not from regular retailer. Not from medical supplier. From specialty company. Online. Dark web possibly. Price was 10 times normal filter. $2,500. For modified poison dispersal device. They arrested Mom. Right there. Read her rights. You have right to remain silent. Mom's face changed. Shock became understanding. Understanding became calculation. She knew. Knew what they'd found. Knew what I'd discovered. Knew it was over. I want lawyers, she said. Only words. Nothing else. No denial. No explanation. No tears. Just lawyer request. They took her. Handcuffs. Police car. Drove away. I watched. Standing in driveway. House I'd grown up in. Watching mother arrested. For murdering father. Surreal. Nightmarish. But real. Happening. Actually happening. Detective Morrison interviewed me. Hours of questions. Timeline of Dad's illness. When filter appeared. Mom's behavior. Financial situation. Everything. Then they interviewed Mom. With her lawyer. She denied everything. I don't know anything about cyanide. That was regular HEPA filter. For Thomas's allergies. I bought it online. Medical supply company. I'd never hurt Thomas. This is mistake. Terrible mistake. But evidence contradicted everything. Purchase records showed specialty supplier. Price showed modified device. Marcus's analysis showed cyanide. Clear. Concentrated. Lethal. And they found more. On Mom's computer. Browser history. Untraceable poisons. Slow-acting toxins. Cyanide poisoning symptoms. How to fake natural death. Hundreds of searches. Going back 4 years. Before Dad got sick. Before symptoms started. Before illness began. Planning. Researching. Preparing. For murder. They requested Dad's body. Exhumation order. But Dad was cremated. Ashes scattered. Mom's choice. Thomas wanted cremation, she'd said. Convenient. Destroyed evidence. But medical examiner had kept samples. Standard procedure. Hair. Tissue. Blood. They ran toxicology. Advanced testing. Looking specifically for cyanide. Results came back. 2 weeks later. Cyanide levels elevated. Significantly. Consistent with chronic exposure. Long-term. Months. Years possibly. Levels that would cause exact symptoms Dad experienced. Weight loss. Nausea. Headaches. Fatigue. Heart arrhythmia. Everything. Mystery illness explained. Dad was poisoned, systematically, over 3 years, by person he trusted most, by his wife, by my mother, who'd been nurse, who understood toxicology, who knew exactly what she was doing. District attorney charged mom, first-degree murder, premeditated, evidence of extensive planning, purchase of poison dispersal device, years of research, 3 years of execution, waiting for death, waiting for insurance payout, bail denied, flight risk, danger to community, trial scheduled 6 months away. Mom hired expensive defense attorney, Trevor Walsh. Known for defending difficult cases, he tried everything, claimed filter was legitimate, claimed someone else modified it, claimed I had motive, wanted inheritance, killed dad, blamed mom, planted evidence, but prosecution destroyed every argument. Marcus testified, explained analysis, showed cyanide evidence. Computer forensics expert testified, showed browser history, timeline, planning. Medical examiner testified, explained toxicology, showed chronic poisoning. Financial expert testified, showed insurance policy, showed motive, 4.7 million reasons. Trial lasted 3 weeks. I testified. Hardest thing ever. Sat on stand, looked at mom, told story, dad's illness, my discovery, filter analysis, everything. Mom stared at me. No emotion, no tears, no remorse. Just blank, cold, calculating, like stranger. Not mother who raised me, not woman I'd known 35 years. Defense attorney cross-examined, aggressively. You wanted inheritance, didn't you? You were angry about insurance beneficiary. You modified filter yourself. I answered calmly. No. I loved my father, wanted him alive, wanted him healthy. Mom killed him. Evidence proves it. Jury watched, listened, evaluated. Prosecutor showed filter, showed mesh, showed crystals, showed test results. Undeniable, overwhelming, clear. Jury deliberated, 4 hours. Short deliberation, obvious case. Came back, guilty. First-degree murder. Mom showed nothing, no reaction. Just sat there. Sentencing 2 weeks later. Judge spoke. I've presided over many murder trials. This is among most cold-blooded, most calculated. 3 years of watching spouse die. Slow, agonizing death while pretending to care, while collecting sympathy, for insurance money, for personal gain. No remorse, no humanity. Life without possibility of parole. Gavel fell. Mom was led away. Didn't look back, didn't acknowledge anyone, just walked. Into system, where she'd die, eventually, years from now, never free again. Insurance company investigated. Found murder conviction, denied payout, standard policy, can't profit from crime. 4.7 million stayed with insurance company. Mom got nothing, no money, no freedom, no husband. Everything she'd done, everything she'd planned. For 3 years, for nothing. Poetic justice, harsh, definitely. Deserved absolutely. I inherited dad's other assets. House, retirement accounts, savings. About 1.4 million total. Money from dad's work, his career, his planning. Not blood money, not murder proceeds, legitimate inheritance, but felt wrong, felt tainted, connected to tragedy, to murder, to loss. I started Foundation. Thomas Cole Memorial Fund. Helps families dealing with unexplained illnesses, provides resources, independent medical analysis, environmental testing, toxicology screening, red flags to watch for, warning signs of intentional poisoning, caregiver behaviors, suspicious patterns, financial motives. We educate medical professionals, train them to recognize chronic poisoning, to question when treatments fail, when symptoms don't match, when decline is steady but unexplained. We've helped 20 families so far, found environmental toxins, found medical errors, found 2 cases of suspected poisoning. Intervention happened. Authorities notified. Lives possibly saved. That matters. That helps. Makes tragedy meaningful. Makes loss purposeful. I don't visit mom. Haven't since sentencing. 2 years ago. Nothing to say. No relationship possible. She murdered my father. Watched him suffer. Collected sympathy. Planned to collect millions. That's not mother. That's murderer. That's monster. I have no mother anymore. Just memory of woman I thought existed. Woman who seemed loving, seemed caring, but was acting. For decades. Until she decided to kill. For money. That's not mother. That's stranger wearing mother's face. I mourn woman I thought I knew. Woman who never existed. That's loss too. Different than Dad's death. But real. Painful. Permanent. Dad's colleagues reached out. After conviction, after truth emerged, apologized for drifting. For not visiting. During illness. During death. Didn't know. Couldn't have known. Mom was convincing. Too convincing. Fooled everyone. Doctors, neighbors, friends, family, me. For 3 years. Perfect performance. Perfect crime. Almost. Caught by accident. By curiosity. By open filter. By Marcus's analysis. Without that, without my investigation, she'd have succeeded. Would be rich. Would be free. Would be living on 4.7 million, while Dad rotted, murdered, unavenged. But justice caught her, actually. Truth emerged. Always does. Foundation work helps me cope. Gives purpose, direction, meaning. Dad's death wasn't meaningless. Led to awareness, led to education, led to protection for others. That matters. Dad would approve, was practical engineer, would want death to serve purpose, to prevent future tragedies, to protect other families. Foundation does that, continues doing that. Growing annually, more resources, more families helped, more poisonings caught, more lives saved. That's Dad's legacy. Not being murder victim, but being catalyst. For change, for awareness, for prevention. I met someone, year after trial. Nina, works at Regional Poison Control Center. We met at medical conference. Foundation was presenting protocols for recognizing chronic poisoning. She attended, asked thoughtful questions. We talked afterward. Coffee, dinner, started dating. Slowly, carefully. Trust was difficult for me. After Mom, after betrayal, after discovering family member capable of murder. But Nina was patient, understanding, gave me space, gave me time, let me process, let me heal. We married last year, small ceremony. Dad's colleagues attended. Mom's family didn't. They believe her still, despite evidence, despite conviction. Family loyalty is strange, sometimes blinding, sometimes destructive. Nina understands foundation work, supports it, contributes expertise, poison control background valuable, medical toxicology knowledge. Together, we've expanded services, added hotline, 24/7, for families suspecting poisoning, for anyone concerned, for anyone seeing warning signs. We get calls weekly, most or nothing, anxiety, misunderstanding, normal illness, but some are real, some are actual poisoning, some we catch early. Investigation starts, lives saved. Mom killed Dad, took 3 years, got caught, got punished. But Foundation prevents others, stops other Helens, saves other Thomases. Not equal, never equal. One death for many lives saved. But something, meaningful something. Mom writes occasionally, letters from prison. I return them unopened. Don't read, don't respond. Nothing she can say matters. No apology sufficient. No explanation acceptable. She made choices, daily choices, for 3 years. Choices to poison, to murder, to betray. Those were her choices. Prison is her consequence. Forever. I have no mother. Had mother once. Thought I did. But she was illusion. Reality was murderer, playing role, for decades. Until opportunity arose, until insurance policy was worth enough, until murder seemed profitable. That's not mother. That's predator. That's monster. I mourn illusion. Mourn woman who never existed. That's my loss. Real loss. Permanent loss. Foundation has staff now. 3 full-time employees, coordinator, medical liaison, outreach specialist, dedicated to mission, to prevention, to protection, to stopping poisoners. We consult nationally, sometimes internationally. Protocols used by hospitals, by medical schools, by law enforcement. Dad's death created ripples, positive ripples, protective ripples. Thousands safer because of work we do, because of lessons learned. Because of tragedy transformed, not redemption. Can't redeem murder, but purpose, meaning, legacy. That's something. 3 years since Dad died, since I found filter, since world shattered. Since mother revealed as murderer, time doesn't heal, makes it manageable, makes functioning possible, makes life livable, but doesn't heal, doesn't erase, doesn't restore. Living with knowledge that mother murdered father, that 3 years of care was 3 years of murder, that family was fiction, that love was performance, that trust was betrayed. That's permanent damage, permanent scar, but also living with purpose. Foundation work, lives saved, families protected. That's meaningful. That's worthwhile. That's enough. Has to be enough. My name is Ethan Cole. I'm 38 years old. 3 years ago, my father died. Mystery illness. 3 years of suffering. Nobody could diagnose. Nobody could treat. I found answer. In HEPA filter. Modified with cyanide. Purchased by my mother, who poisoned him. Slowly. Deliberately. For insurance money. For $4.7 million. I discovered it. Reported it. She was convicted. Life without parole. I started Foundation. Thomas Cole Memorial Fund. Helping families. Preventing poisonings. Saving lives. That's Dad's legacy. That's my purpose. That's how I survive. Knowing mother is murderer. Knowing family was lie. Knowing trust was betrayed. But also knowing good emerged. Protection from evil. Life from death. Purpose from tragedy. It's not redemption. Not healing. Not closure. But it's something. And sometimes something is everything. The investigation revealed more than I knew. Police dug deeper into Mom's background, her nursing career. Financial records showed pattern, gambling activity, online poker, sports betting. Started 5 years before Dad got sick. Small amounts initially. $50, $100, then escalating. Larger bets, bigger losses. By time Dad got sick, Mom was losing thousands monthly, had accumulated debts, $83,000, hidden from Dad, separate credit cards, secret accounts. Dad never knew, never suspected. Mom hid it perfectly. Another performance, another lie, another betrayal. The gambling explained motive. $4.7 million would cover debts, with millions left over. Freedom from debt, freedom from marriage, freedom from pretending. New life, new start, clean slate. Worth killing for 3 years of patience. Worth watching husband suffer. Cold calculation. Addiction-fueled desperation. Turned into murder plot. Methodical. Systematic. Evil. Prosecutor showed jury Mom's casino visits. Security footage during Dad's illness. While he was home, dying, suffering, Mom would drive to casino, 2 hours away, gamble for hours, lose money, then drive home, return to playing devoted wife, caring for dying husband. Performance resumed, seamlessly. Nobody suspected, nobody knew. Perfect compartmentalization, perfect deception, until evidence surfaced. Character witnesses tried defending her. Helen was wonderful nurse, always caring, always professional, but evidence overwhelmed testimony. Facts trumped character, chemistry trumped opinions, cyanide in filter, searches on computer, gambling debts, insurance motive, timeline perfect, means clear, motive obvious, opportunity constant, guilty beyond reasonable doubt. I think about Dad often, what he'd think. Knowing truth, knowing wife murdered him, knowing 3 years of suffering was intentional, was planned, was profit-motivated, would destroy him emotionally. Before death, good thing he never knew. Died believing wife loved him, died believing she tried helping, died trusting. Better than knowing truth, better than dying with that knowledge. Small mercy and tragedy. The bitter almond smell haunts me. That moment, opening filter, first whiff, recognition clicking, chemistry class memory, warning about cyanide, characteristic smell, bitter almond, death smell, murder smell, realizing immediately something terribly wrong. That moment changed everything, from grief to horror, from loss to betrayal, from mourning to investigation. One smell, one realization, everything shifted, forever changed. I keep filter, evidence photo, framed, in Foundation office, reminder of what we fight, of what we prevent, of why we exist, that innocuous white casing, that hidden mesh, those crystalline particles, that bitter almond smell, Death disguised as healing, murder disguised as care, monster disguised as mother. We show it to medical students, to investigators, to families. Real example, real evidence, real warning. This happens. This exists. This kills. Be vigilant. Be questioning. Be aware. Could save life. Could expose murderer. Could bring justice. My name is Ethan Cole, 38 years old, son of Thomas Cole, murdered by Helen Cole, his wife. My mother, using cyanide-modified HEPA filter. 3 years of poisoning, 4.7 million motive. Life sentence result? I discovered truth, started foundation, married Nina, helped families, prevent poisonings, save lives. Dad's death created purpose. Mom's evil created mission. Tragedy created meaning, not redemption, not healing, but purpose, legacy, impact. Sometimes that's enough, has to be enough, is enough.